Hey, boys and girls, day 2 of COVID-19 lessons digitally. I'm going to try to be brief here to show you what we already had started on Monday, and your job will be to wrap that up. So here we go. Hopefully you can prepare by getting your purple pages out and ready to use. There's anything purple specifically today is going to be 8.3, but if you didn't finish 8.2 Whiskey Rebellion, you should do that. Then take a deep breath. Here's a little review. On Wednesday, I had you watch and listen to a few helpful tips on how to survive this strange change in our lives and to survive academically and social studies digitally. You should have learned that you're going to only be formatively scored and that routines are going to be key. Hopefully you have a set time a day set aside to get this stuff done. Don't be afraid to take breaks though. Remember, your job yesterday was to complete Current Event 3. Many of you did a fine job in doing that. That is on Super Tuesday, Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. Thanks for turning those in. Keep them coming. I got to get those graded. All right, today's focus is going to be on finishing 8.3. This is about the first political parties. We got the Federalists on one hand. We got the Democratic Republicans on the other. Hamilton and Jefferson would fit in on there. And we'll talk about John Adams and where he goes on those political parties as well. So at the end, you'll know a lot about the Federalists and the Democratic Republicans. You'll know what party values each group had. And towards the end of the day, you'll learn about the Alien and Sedition Acts, something that would end up hurting John Adams' chances of winning a second term as president of the United States. All right, so here's your goal. Find out what the difference is between the Federalists and the Democratic Republicans and what maybe caused Adams to lose his seat as second term as president. Okay, so here's a brief little rundown. If you've already done the lesson, at least you'll get some background information. And towards the end, I'll show you exactly where you got to go to be successful today. Okay, so remember we had Alexander Hamilton, the man standing in a picture I showed you in 8.1, and Thomas Jefferson, right? Two guys that helped George Washington in his cabinet during his 2 terms as president. These guys were both brilliant men, no doubt about it. They just had different views. Okay, so I'm going to flip on over here and show you the page that you should be working with. Should look something like this right here. Okay, we got the 2 political parties here. We got the elephants, the Republicans, and the donkeys, the Democrats. Big smiles on their face, but if you look closely, their brains are angry at each other. Okay, so the first political parties definitely are the Federalists, the Democratic Republicans. We would have Alexander Hamilton as the Federalist, and over here we would have Thomas Jefferson as the Democratic Republican. Hamilton loved the idea that the wealthy would be the ones in charge and rule by them. Jefferson, on the other hand, liked regular people, people who weren't always wealthy. The Constitution, to Alexander Hamilton, he wanted a very loose version of the Constitution. What that meant is that the Constitution's power could be really big, so we could stretch their power. Jefferson, on the other hand, wanted a strict read of the Constitution. So if this was the power of the government, that's all they should have, no bending of the powers. We know that Hamilton was big into banks and manufacturing. That's what he loved best. Jefferson was a plantation owner. He loved the idea of agriculture. As such, Hamilton loved the idea of a British alliance, key for trade. Jefferson favored the French. He wanted free trade, no tariffs. Hamilton loved the idea of tariffs. We could make money off of it. So Hamilton liked this idea of a national bank, while Jefferson liked the idea of states banks, limit the control of government. Okay, so that's the big meat of this lesson today, is understanding that. Okay, we know that George Washington would step down and Adams would become the next president. That's what you're going to learn right here on this slide. Adams, though, had some trouble with foreign countries. He wanted to be peaceful, yet he was prepared to go to war. So you're going to learn about the XYZ affair and how 3 people tried to bribe America into getting money and how that didn't work. And what that ended up leading to was the Alien and Sedition Acts, which actually made us fear the Republicans, or not the Republicans, but we feared immigrants. We did not fear Republicans. We feared immigrants because of that. All right, I'm going to flip back over here now. So there's a brief rundown of what you need to learn and finish today. Jump into this folder. Notice Quarter 4, Chapter 8, 8.3 First Political Parties, and you'll see all of your lesson materials in there. Good luck, boys and girls. I'll catch you on the flip side.